week. Please welcome our first guest for this evening to tell us all about it from Ramsay Street themselves, Stefan, Dennis, Natalie Bassingthwaighte and Alan Fletcher. Thank you all very much for coming in, and congratulations on 20 years. Excuse the audience as they get used to Jay LaFay leaving the studio. The satellite, I mean. Now, I was almost going to call you Paul Stefan. You must get that all the time. Now, you've been with the show since its inception, pretty much. When you first signed on, well, I mean, obviously off and on, but when you first signed on, did you think 20 years of Neighbours would be an occurrence?
No, I thought it was going to last about 6 months. And I actually said that verbally to my agent. I said, no, it's a little show, corny name, it's not going to last.
That's incredible. So when you go, when you come back, there's how many people of the cast are familiar faces, or even those working behind the scenes?
Well, Fletcher's a familiar face, but not through Neighbours, because I've known Al for ages. But Tom Oliver and Ian Smith, they're the only two that were familiar faces from this time around, but yeah. And
Natalie, take us through how, because this is what I'm fascinated about, how because we've heard all these stories of all these people that are coming back to be part of the 20th celebrations. How do they bring all these old characters back?
Well, Kimberly Davies, who plays Annalise Hartman, she comes back and she's making a documentary about basically her time and people that she knew on the street. So she gets to interview everyone. I don't know if you get... Do you get an interview?
No, I don't get an interview. I'm too busy breaking out with you.
Oh, my God. Oh, plot twist. It's like Harry Potter reveal.
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people get to tell their stories about their time on the street, and so it's a good way of bringing everyone back and having a little...
And was it nice, Alan, having everybody back, like all these different people on location at the same time?
It was just El Bizarro. Every you turn the corner in the makeup chair where you would normally be, expect yourself to be, there's Ian Rawlings, who disappeared 4 years ago, or Andrew Bibby or something. It was fantastic, obviously socially brilliant, but it was a weird time, because, as I say, for myself personally, I was having a bit of a to-do with Mrs. here.
Yes.
And so I was doing lots of... so I couldn't really be all that friendly to everybody. I was walking around a bit of a grump all week.
We were sad that week. We had a lot of tears that week, so we weren't very nice.
But wonderful to see everyone. They were just... It was fantastic. Really, probably the biggest week I've been there 11 years, and it was the biggest week I've been there.
I know you've done some fairly... I'm very excited about this, but I don't want to take anything away from some of your other impressive work that you've done. You and I mean, hey, let's all celebrate 20 years of Neighbours. Don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful event. But 19 years ago, you and I starred in a little television series called Caboodle. And I'd like to show people a particular scene. This is Alan Fletcher and myself back in 1986.
What's wrong with the cricket team?
They're terrific.
I'm not a bad bowler.
Oh, yeah? Good. Talk to Miss Spencer. She's in charge of the grade 4 team.
Grade 4? I can't play with them.
The seniors are playing netball. We get our first inter-school game next week.
Yeah.
I've still got those shorts, but they only fit on one leg. What is?
That's frightening. That's just too... Warwick Kappa could sue us for copyright, I think, with those shorts. Now, Stefan, how's it been for you? Because you get to play an evil villain, which we don't get all that... I mean, Izzy gets to play that. You get that, Natalie, as well. But to actually get to play that J.R. Ewing-style character on Neighbours, is it good fun?
That's what I used to be in the UK. That was my nickname.
J.R.?
Junior J.R., yeah. That's what everywhere I used to go, they used to call me Junior J.R.
Fantastic.
Which I thought was actually quite cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't think it's bad at all.
It's cool.
Now, of course, when it comes to shows like Neighbours, what I love the most is the fantastic storylines. Over 20 years, you get some tremendous storylines. A lot of you have crossed paths on screen. And I'd just like to run through a few perennial favourites here, and just raise your hand if you've had any of these storylines. Has anyone had an affair? Has anyone been caught having an affair? Had a daughter you never knew about? Who was that? Who was that?
Amy. Amy, yeah, she was the illegitimate child. Couldn't say that then. Illegitimate child.
And the mother was Mrs. Mangle, is that right?
Something about
No,
bouncer
from
in there,
Nina. From my airline steward days.
Oh, way
Yes,
back when.
yes, we could go
Okay,
into all
who's
those.
been married? Who's had a breakdown? Good job, everybody. Who's been in prison? Oh, yes. Who's been shot? Oh, you've done it all. And who's travelled to hospital in a Mr. Whippy van? Yes! Now, Natalie, I was mentioning that you're playing the character of Izzy. She's almost our modern-day little vixen, and it must be a fun role to play because you have kissed both gentlemen either side of you.
Yeah.
Who is the better kisser? Do we have... Let's look at here. Kiss number one. Get on, Fletcher, get in there. Hello. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Oh, very nice. Getting right in there. So...
I didn't know about that.
Oh, sorry. Any favourites out of the two?
Yeah, there are, but I can't say.
Very nice.
No,
and now
no.
all of you have also stepped out into the music field as well at various times. Is that something that all of you would like to pursue in the future, you know, should all things finish up with Neighbours? I know, Stefan, you did it years ago. I remember
Yes, mine ended up being quite laughable, really.
I remember it was on one of the...
I was the David Hasselhoff of the music industry.
I would like to see some Stefan Dennis emails making it onto cyberspace. Yeah. But I know, Alan, you've got your band. Natalie just did Grease as well. And of
Natalie's
course,
with
the
Rogue
Rogue
Traders,
Traders going well.
Still going. We're almost finished an album, so that's coming up probably September, and second single on its way. Doing really well.
That's good. And everyone, I mean, there's a lot of history of music in Neighbours. There's a lot of people doing it. There's a lot from this cast who potentially could be doing it. It's all different. There's, you know, Kylie and Natalie and so forth. For myself, it's just I have a band that plays every Monday night. We've toured in the UK. We're going back again in November, and we've released an album, all that sort of thing. But it's hardly on the kind of Kylie level.
Early days.
But he does look good in the hot pants.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. Wear those shorts. That's what you need to do. Wear the shorts.
No, but my band Waiting Room is a great thrill for me. It's great to have it outside Neighbours. Although for myself, I mean, Neighbours is so much a part of my life, and I love it. The music gives you that extra focus and something else. This one here is going to be extraordinarily famous.
Well, I think our Neighbours is a part of everyone's life, and 20 years, congratulations to all of you, everyone who's been there along the way, and of course all the people who work very hard behind the scenes. 6:30 weeknights, help celebrate next week the big 20th, the cast of Neighbours, or some of them. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Good to see you, mate.